Hello, I'm Gary Quinn, and welcome to another episode of Ready, Set, Live. My guest today is Richard Garnier, PhD, Doctor of Chinese Medicine and international author. Richard is revered for his multidisciplinary modalities, blending academic acumen and research and transformational acuity. And he embodies the role of a healer, intuitive engineer, and an energetic specialist. As a renowned author, inventor, and frequent guest across European TV networks, Richard is regarded as a leader in alternative energetics. Don't go away. I'll be right back with Richard Garnier. Welcome to the show, Richard. It's so great to have you.
Hello, Gary. So happy to be with you today.
Good. You know, I think people use the term energy healer, scientific. When you got into this work, was it based on an accident, or you felt something, or you always knew you were studying? Because I know you've studied everything, and you have this great wealth of knowledge and degrees. And you were in Bali when you had this first thing. But when you were growing up as a young boy, how did it happen? What was the catalyst?
Long story. How many days you have? At the origin, you know, it's like an accident. I was in a boxing club in Lyon, in France. Mm-hmm. And a strange guy, everyone with his finger, he touched you some part, and your pain disappeared. It was so crazy for me. He called me son all the time, and one day I say, "Oh, Guy, I have a knee problem." He say, "Oh, not for you." I say, "Why? It's not fair." He say, "No, Richard, you are my son. You need to learn." It's the beginning.
Wow.
And this guy was in China many years ago with his dad. His dad make like international business with China. Mm-hmm. And he put his son in a monastery, in Taoist monastery. And the first step of my story, mysticism story, begin here with Taoism. Mm. And yes, I have PhD, I become doctor just recently about Chinese energetic medicine. But, you know, to be honest with you, I try to understand the both way, but my favorite part is the mystic way. Mm-hmm. And when you meet, I'm so lucky because I met a lot of masters like the Dalai Lama, like a lot of Tibetan master, Balinese master, Taoist master. And what I discover, it's your brain, it's your enemy. I could explain later that, because for me the key is here. The problem of human is the brain. And when you meet some master, you don't speak the same language. It's very interesting. This master can put something inside you after you are different.
Are you saying the brain sometimes we think too much, or we get into the stress of life instead of being in the now?
I think it's more profound than that. To be honest, I spoke of that with Professor Montagnier, Nobel Prize of Medicine, because I say, "Oh, you know, the brain is your enemy." And he answered me, "Oh, Richard, you can't say that. We can no life without brain." I say, "Yes, but look, for example, I help many thousand people to stop smoking. Okay, each time the guy, if your brain is your friend and take care of you, your brain help you to stop smoking. Okay, if your brain is your friend and take care of you, you eat correctly, you don't smoke, you don't use drugs, you have sex correctly, you make sport every day, you make meditation, blah, blah, blah. But look, everyone go in the habit, and for example, I give you a session to stop smoking cigarette. Okay, one day, let's say you are at a party, you drink a little, they say, "Oh, just one, you know, it's nothing." Okay, sorry. If your brain is your friend, they say, "Oh, don't touch that." No, the brain, I think the problem is the brain think is your spiritual part. Mm-hmm. And it's not the case.
Now, you wrote this book in France with Professor Montanet. Now, tell us what he's well known, or he was well known. What did he discover?
He discovered I don't know.
The HIV?
The HIV, sorry, I think in French again. And he was an incredible guy, so smart. And I'm so lucky my mentor in France, I meet this guy. Mm-hmm. My mentor is Dr. Frederick Salman. And during a dinner together, I share my research because I'm crazy chercher. And when I show my research to Professor Montagnier, he say, "Richard, are you crazy? You did that?" I say, "Oh, yes." I say, "Okay, you need to explain me how you do that." And when I explain, he say, "Okay, so interesting to understand the importance of the energy." And in my way, because maybe not everyone speaks the energy in the same way. And he say, "Oh, you need, for your next level, your next book, you must be in US." It's why I'm here, actually. Mm-hmm. Because he say, "Oh, it's so big, you need to do something big."
Well, for people that don't know, I was lucky to have 3 sessions private with Richard, and you're the real deal. I mean, I've been all over the world with people that say they're healers, energy workers, this and that.
Thank you.
You have this power through the energy that I felt the other day, which was, I saw the blue light and the energy which you were using. But I think when people talk about healing, and I know you've healed everybody from having issues with cancer, emotional block energy, I think you just balance energy really well. You're a scientist, and your place is like a science, like a laboratory upstairs with the chairs and the energy and the machines and the vibration. So when you came to America, because I know you have a big clientele in Europe, and you lived in Canada and in Paris, so you're going back to Paris soon to see clients. What do people usually? I know you're a secret. They find you. What is it that you when you assess them, you're pulling their energy, or are you tuning in spiritually, or are you going into the aura or their vibration? How does it work for you?
It's depend for each one. It's depend if you come to see me only to have a Qigong session or just to balance your energy. Or if you want what I call hypnomagnetism, because, Western need a word, and I create this word because how to explain what I did, I don't know. I create a word for that. Because I begin a session, and, I was so lucky to give you a session because with your special abilities, you can see more than the other. But I begin my session by intuitive reading and by channeling information about your body, about your life. And after, it depends what I receive. I give you more physical or more spiritual or more just energetic way. It depends of what you need, what I receive for you. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the idea, yes, it's to balance your energy, but most of the time I begin by the connection of your soul inside your physical body. For majority of people, I begin by that. Because if you are not in your journey, in your mission of this life, for sure, a lot of problem.
Yeah. Why do you think people are having this silent suffering? And I think that's the start of it, of why they start to have issues and problems with their bodies and their minds.
Okay, one of my teachers explained me something about the cancer, for example. And he gave me a very interesting point of view. He said, "Oh, you have a client who have a cancer? Oh, look at him." I said, "Oh, you can say that." He said, because when you are completely unbalanced inside and in disharmony inside you, it's like your subconscious or your divine part, your spiritual part say, "Okay, you must change something." But like your brain is your enemy, from my point of view, it don't say nothing. It say, "Oh, stay in your habit." But your soul say, "Oh, no, change." And like you don't listen your soul and you listen your brain, you don't change. And your body creates big deal, like big pain sometime. And after that, if you change something, my first client, for example, in California, when I arrived 3 years ago, was cancer stage 3 with tumor in liver. We remove that, lucky us, not always like that. But after she said, Richard, you don't only heal me, you change my life. You change everything in my life. I explained to her, no choice, because it's your third cancer. If I just remove your tumor, another one will come, because it's like your body gives you sign, okay, now it's time to change something. And since that, she feels good, because she's changed her life.
And I think when individuals, Richard, have this, you know, we're, as children, we take on all this pain, trauma, and energy that's blocked, and we do it out of survival. And when we grow up as adults, we sometimes repeat that. And I think the thing is to try to break that habit, because it is a habit. And so sometimes in life we get to a point where wah, 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 and it says, okay, you're overheating, you need to do something. So I think that's, people wait till the last minute, but I think they could come and have this energy work with you, or anybody who does this kind of work, to really balance them. I mean, have you found that when people come to see you, there's a disconnect and you're helping to put the pieces together? Or is it different how you, when you tune in, you see the bigger picture of the machine, how you need to put it together?
Honestly, it depends.
Each one's different.
Yes, it's very, very different each time. Sometimes I have the information about the trauma from when you were a child, and I find the information. Sometimes I need to share, sometimes I don't share. But sometimes we don't need. It's different for each one. Sometimes just when you balance the energy inside and you connect the soul of the body inside, everything change. Mm-hmm. You don't need to work on this very specific piece. And you know, it's very interesting. With the Tibetan system, sometimes you can feel the trauma. I can describe the trauma, but majority of time I don't do. And you see the trauma get out, and the people say, oh, I feel different. But we don't need to know. Sometimes we need, sometimes we don't need. One more time, the brain, it's not always your friend.
Now, you were there, was it Bali for 3 years or 2 years or 1 year? I can't.
No. I traveled 3 times, but not 3 years in Bali.
Okay.
And I'm so lucky. I meet a lot of master in Bali.
This is the master
111, yes. He passed away like 2 months ago.
Amazing man.
Oh, yes. And, you know, and this Manku was so incredible because majority of Balinese are afraid, but in same time, they love him. And the guy, like, you can feel the energy of love, but in same time, you can feel the power incredible of this guy. Very incredible. And look at me, because he see my abilities that the Tibetan gave me, sorry. And he said, oh, Richard, I will give you some, not in French, not in English, unfortunately for me. And he said, oh, I will give you the special abilities of Bali too, to help more people. And I receive initiation and transmission. I don't know, but after my energy, I don't know what he did. But after my energy change, I had become officially Manku in Bali.
Well, you know, in each session I had with you, there were different things that were happening inside of my energy or subconscious, what I was channeling or tuning into, what I was seeing. It was quite amazing, the different things that were coming present. I know the last session, I told you those 3 masters came through, and I was in this, like a temple, with this amazing water, this brilliant water that was flowing through me, almost that you were moving the energy through me. And I know you said you channeled everything into my stomach area, and that explain that, how it fills up when you fill the body with that it fills up and heals the rest of the body where it needs it?
Okay. For your example, it's I love to give a link of a lineage, and this comes from Heavenly Qigong system. And for them, you need to create your spiritual body, the Yangshen. And when you create that, you have connection with the divine. We help you. And the idea after, you can play with your physical energy, or you can catch the energy of the universe. And what I finish on you, and it was so nice and so happy for me because you described what I did. It's like I play with the wave of the universe, and I put this divine energy of the universe inside your belly. Why the belly? Because the Japanese call Ara, or the Chinese call Lower Dantian, whatever. Near the navel area, you have like a tank of your physical energy, and it's the most important reserve. It's English.
Reserve.
Reserve for you. And I put this divine energy from the universe inside, and I'm like a super empath. I can feel inside my body in the same time. And when I feel with my hand and with my body, okay, your belly is full, okay, I need to stop. First time I try to go more, I can feel, I begin to have a headache. And my clients say, oh, Richard, I have a little pain in my brain because I put too much pressure of energy inside.
Interesting.
Wow. It's very. I'm lucky because I have a feedback. I can feel the energy, but in the same time, like I'm an empath guy, I feel inside my body, and it's like that. I know, I need to remove some part here. I need to go here because I feel inside.
It's almost like you're a composer, making sure that the violins are, in tune when you're playing the orchestra to really organize everybody's body wellness. Is it also, though, because I know that the subconscious mind, when you're doing the healing, it goes deep? Is it because the person is in a state of relaxation, or I know when I'm lying on the table, there's a sense of a different, it's almost like a relaxation that happens. But if a person isn't relaxed, you can't really get into their energy well, right?
No, it's different level. I can do if the person is not relaxed, but something very interesting for more scientists. If you put a EEG on my client on the table, it's like you are in hypnotic trance, but we don't need to speak, we don't need to nothing. Just your state of brain change, your brain frequency change. And when it's like that, for sure, I can help you to change deeper and faster. After, it depends on the level of what we do. Because when it's just okay, I have pain here, okay, if you're not relaxed, I can just clean your energy, purge your energy, and after it's okay. But if we need to do something very more profound and more deep, yes, we need that. But the energy creates that. Energy, it's everything for me.
When you work with somebody, it would be interesting, and I know you have in your research that you have for your next book or co-production of your next project, where you can measure the energy with people. Are you able to really see a shift in people's healing? Like, if you had an EKG hooked up to their energy, you could see a sense of change or relaxation that happens more?
One part of my research, more in past, was I use a lot of electronic tools to see the EEG, to see the level of energy. I have different machines for that. But now, what I love, it's to have a physical proof. And my idea for the next book will be to work and to explain to people how it's possible to change not only your life, but your physical body too, inside and outside. How it's possible to increase the size of telomeres, and like anti-aging for your cells, and something very, very important like that. And now it's my goal. I
think longevity is the key I am like 100% into longevity, wellness, health food, whole food, organic. And exercising is the key for me of being an ex-athlete. And I think, what one tip would you give someone out there listening who is suffering not so much the tip-top health, or they're not exercising? What would be one tip, that you could give them, or a few tips just to start to change their rhythm, their energy, and sort of get back into wellness?
Okay. One important thing about telomeres. Telomeres,
Yes.
it's one part of your DNA, give you biologic age. But longer is your telomere, younger you are, but less you have like problem like cancer and something like that. It's more that just to be look young inside, you have less problem. First thing. After my first, I share something from one of my teacher, Taoist teacher. He said to me, Richard, if you work inside, you don't need to work outside, like work out or gym or whatever. But if you work outside, you need to work inside, because the energy used like channel meridian. If you work too much like physically, you can compress and block your channel of energy. And if you do that, you can have very beautiful body, but inside it's like chaos. But if you work inside, for sure, we need to work outside too. But the most important is to work your internal energy, and for that, you need to play with meditation and with Qigong, or what name we use, but you need to know how to play with this different part. But one of my favorite clients in Europe, a billionaire guy, come to see me. Each time I am in Europe, he tries to come to see me every day. I say, okay, please stop that. It's too much. And he said to me, Richard, I can buy everything. I say, and? I say, I feel better than 20 years ago since your session. My telomere grow. I have a proof of that. I say, okay, why you want I don't take care of that? And it's true. With working with energy at one level, you can feel better. Mm-hmm. But for sure, it's better to be free. And my point of view, it's for each my client must be free.
Free.
And to be free, you don't need to see me too much, and you don't need to anyone. You need to have a key inside you and work on you.
Excellent. I am so happy to have you on the show. And if anybody wants to find out more about Richard's incredible work, they can see him on Instagram, or it's at hypnomagnetism. Or they can just Google him and you can see everything. But I thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you so much, Gary. Real pleasure for me.
And thank you all for joining me today. I'm Gary Quinn. Until next time, be well. Until next time, it's all about health, fitness, and being happy.